Welcome to the Miracles and Wellness Podcast. I'm Clarissa Booker, your holistic health coach and beauty expert. I know how stress can derail your well-being as an entrepreneur. I'll be sharing simple strategies to reduce stress, ditch stress eating, and replace other habits while energizing your day by incorporating more plants onto your plate. With small shifts that can boost your health, happiness, and productivity. Whether you're seeking guidance with weight loss, stress release, or just a moment to recharge, I invite you to join me. Let's optimize your wellness path. So be open to receive because I believe that miracles are for everyone. Let's go. Hello there, my friend. How are you doing today? I hope you're having a wonderful day. Okay, so today we're going to talk a little bit about burnout, chronic fatigue, because it can take a toll on our businesses, but not just that, our overall well-being, which is incredibly important, all right? So we're just going to dive into some practical strategies to just help you try to combat the fatigue, kind of knock it out there, and just add more balance into our life, into our schedule, all of the things, all right? So we want to make sure that we recognize burnout, because sometimes we are so used to things that a lot of times we will normalize it. Have you ever been in a situation where in order for you to cope, you just normalize what's happening? And a lot of times we do that, whether that starts when we're younger, and we may carry that on into when we're adulting, when we're working, all of the things. So we kind of want to just nip it in the bud, all right? And it doesn't just happen overnight. There's usually signs. It's a gradual process, just like anything in our health. So we just want to try to pay more attention, become more aware of what we're doing, paying attention to our body, listening to our body, right? Just looking at all those little signs. So let's get into a couple of little key indicators, all right? For one, persistent exhaustion, right? Like physical exhaustion for one, just feeling drained and fatigued all the time, just like feeling like you're carrying a heavy load. It's one thing to just be tired because you didn't sleep last night because you was up and you got like 4 hours of sleep. But if this is happening all the time, right, it could be something deeper, right? It could be this burnout that's coming up. And you feel it manifesting, muscle tension, this lack of energy that's just there, this heaviness that you feel, right? Feeling kind of weary all the time. And this can very easily happen if you're working on a project, for example, and you're just grinding it out, not paying attention to your body, and you're just going and you're just going and you're just going, just not giving yourself the support that you need to rest and to feed your body what you need. And that could be a myriad of things, right? I know I have been there. I remember at one point years ago feeling so exhausted, just going home. And the only option for some reason was my couch. All right. And I would just go there. I would go in, take the shoes off, and I have every intention to making it to the bed or to whatever plans I have. But it just didn't happen sometimes. Because I would be so exhausted. I would just be like, nope. This is it. This is my happy spot right now. This couch. And I would just like be there, and phone would be ringing. I maybe had made plans earlier to do something, or maybe I had something I had to do, or maybe I just needed to make it to the bed. I just couldn't even make it that far because I was so physically exhausted, right? And my body was like, sis, stop moving. Just stop. And it would be like, oh, she's sitting still. Oh, how nice of her. We're just going to stay right here. And that's just how it was going down, because I wasn't listening to my body, right? I was just like on go mode. I'm like, gotta get it, gotta go. But that's not good for our well-being. It wasn't good for my well-being, okay? And then on top of that, you may be emotionally exhausted, right? So you could have these periods on top of each other. Like you're feeling that feeling of tiredness and stress, and you just feel so depleted inside, like your emotional reserves are just done, right? So if you ever feel like it's hard for you to convey your emotions and you're feeling empty inside, you might have some emotional exhaustion there. So it's not just about feeling drained, but being able to communicate, right? Or connect emotionally with others. So that could also be a sign of that as well. Like you just feel withdrawn. And even with this exhaustion that you may feel, it doesn't necessarily mean that you want to sleep. You might even have insomnia. You might develop insomnia where you're not able to stay asleep or fall asleep. Your mind might be racing, right? So just paying attention to your sleep patterns as well, because this also can be another contributing factor to the cycle of fatigue, okay? And then a lot of times when you are fatigued, that also affects your focus. And if you can concentrate, you may have difficulty concentrating. I know if I'm feeling sleepy, it's hard for me to concentrate. I mean, that's a lot of people as well, wouldn't you agree? Right? So won't be able to focus as well on the task that you have. Whatever you have scheduled out, it's not going to be able to give your best to the assignment or whatever it is that you're taking on for the day, right? Or whatever's going on. And you might find yourself easily distracted. And I do see this quite a bit if I'm talking to somebody, working with somebody, because the focus is just gone because you just feel so stressed and you feel burnt out. And it affects you. It's like you just don't want to deal with it sometimes. Just like, I got to get out of here. I got to go. It's time for that sabbatical. Just all the things. I remember back in like 2007, 2008, somewhere in there. It's kind of a blur a little bit. I was working by myself and I just had to pause with my business, and I was just in this place and I was just like, oh no, I just need a break. I was just like not trying to do anything anymore. Eventually I went back, but I just had to get my mind right because I couldn't focus and I had to stop and take care of myself altogether. I mean, I was like working out and doing all the things, but that just wasn't doing everything. I had to take better care of myself as a whole. And there was buckets that were missing that I had to work on, which is one of the reasons I'm such an advocate on mental health and physical health, not just focusing on one or the other. We need to take care of all of us, our whole life holistically as a whole. It is extremely important because I believe that you cannot just work out and be athletic, but not pay attention to your mental health. No, that's not going to cut it. All right. That could be like a Band-Aid, but yes, we need to do physical health, but we cannot just worry about our mental health and ignore physical, because then there's going to be other illnesses to go up. And we also need to pay attention to our spiritual health. I mean, all of the things, right? And just like if you're feeling burnt out, you may get headaches, right? And then you might get this insomnia. And this is going to linger into your physical health as well, right? Stomach aches, right? It can mess with your gut. And the gut, we know, is the center of a lot of conditions going on there, right? So these body discomforts. And then it's going to make your immune system become weaker. Then what's that going to do? Linger on to your physical health, right? So it's all always connected. So take a moment to just see if you identify any of these symptoms in yourself. Just be very honest with yourself. Okay? And if you do, it's important to take steps towards self-care to prevent the burnout from escalating even more, which is what we do not want. Okay? Take a moment for self-reflection, right? Assess your current state. Where are you, right? Where is your life right now? How are you feeling? Okay. Reflect on your workload, your priorities, how you've been feeling lately, and just be very honest with yourself, right? And it's okay. Let whatever comes up come up. Be ready to set those boundaries in place. Yes. Right? Establishing those clear boundaries. Sometimes you got to reevaluate them too, Sometimes, and it's all right. You have to do that all the time. We do our quarterly reports and all of these things. You got to reevaluate your life, right? Avoid overcommitting, saying no when it's absolutely necessary. You got to do it, right? And you're still going to be kind because you need to first be kind to yourself, right? Don't think you're not going to be kind to somebody just because you say no. No, you're doing what you got to do for you. Prioritizing your self-care, right? Incorporating them into your routine, writing it down, getting it in there, do whatever you need to do, seeking your support. Don't hesitate to reach out, because a lot of times when you hear us talk about stuff, you're like, it's easier said than done. And I understand that. That's why we're here to help you, right? And there's no judgment with any of that, because we all can use a hand here and there. All right. Because especially if you've been doing the same routine over and over again, right? You have these thoughts, these habits embedded inside of you. It's going to be a much more simple process if you have somebody guiding you along the way. Because, yeah, it is easier said than done. You'd be like, well, if it was that easy, I'd be doing it already. What are you talking about? I get it. All right. I do. Right. You are not alone. Burnout is common, right? It's a common challenge. Just people want to glorify these things. Don't glorify it. All right. I want you to prioritize yourself. Listen to your body and do not hesitate ever to seek support. All right. Know that it is there for you. Open up, even though it might seem like it might be difficult in the moment. Okay. You also can download these mindful worksheets I have here. There's a link in the show notes. How it goes over different mindfulness practices, some shorter, some longer. And it'll just give you some techniques. There's also a mindful journal in there. And then once you do these exercises, contact us for additional support because we're here for you. Okay? We got you. Right? Making sure you make your self-care appointments. Do you have your self-care appointment for the month? I hope you do. If you don't, you need to do that today. Schedule it for yourself. Just like it's a meeting or anything else, just like it's for your kids, whatever it is, schedule it for yourself. Because, honey, you need it. Because you are so important. You are more than enough. You are more than enough. And I want you to take care of yourself. Okay. Remember, investing time in your well-being is an investment for all the rest of your life. All of it. The success of your life. Burnout is not a badge of honor in any circumstance. Because you don't want to wake up in the hospital. You have too much more life to live. Taking care of yourself is not a luxury. It is a necessity. Okay? And remember to breathe. Until next time.
Goodbye, guys. Thank you for listening to my mom's podcast. Leave a 5-star review.
Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode and are feeling empowered in your journey towards a thriving well-being. Also, share this episode to someone you know this will bless, as that's how we spread the message. And don't forget just to take 30 seconds to leave a written review on Apple Podcasts by scrolling down the show page and clicking write a review because it also helps us grow. I appreciate you taking the time to show us support.